Square saying Zimbabwe, welcome to our channel Zim Confessions and Deep Secrets. Kana karike kutanka kukuya paneno channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Kana chingwagara oka subscriber, don't forget to comment and share this video. Nasi mwere Zimbabwe takuigirai nyayaburiswa the Human Rights Watch yoyabuda ichikondema Zimbabwe's army commander ne kudeclare kwa wakaita the country's security forces they are going to play a partisan political role. But Zimbabwe wachi threaten the future my elections and those which participate in my elections. Wow. For last month, the Zimbabwe National Army Commander Lieutenant General YaSanyatwe Yoendeswa the army ichashandisa yavanoti command voting and wakaendera mberi achiti ZANU-PF icharamba ichitonga kusvika madhongi amera nyanga. So now the African Advocates Director at the Human Rights Watch Alan Ngari vabuda vachitaura ivo vachiti the Zimbabwe's security forces vari kufanira kuuphold the country's constitution. Vakabuda vachitaura vachiti the Zimbabwe military commander's open endorsement of the ruling party not only threatens the fairness of the elections but opens door for security force abuse against voters, the opposition and the civil society organizations. And Zimbabwe's security forces need to comply with the country's laws and regulations that uphold its international human rights obligations to ensure that elections are free and fair. And funga Zimbabwe yana makore akawanda the military and other state security forces which interfere with the nation's politics pamwechete nema-electoral affairs muri Zimbabwe zvirikuwanikwa zvichiviolata ma-rights ma-citizens muri Zimbabwe. So according to the Zimbabwe's constitution intaura iyo ichiti member of the security services hafaniri kupindira munyaya dzepolitics muri Zimbabwe. So this statement yakaburiswa naVasanyatwe yanetsa muri Zimbabwe vachitaura vachiti Zimbabwe iri kunida ma-reforms ndofunga the human rights yaeja the government of Zimbabwe kuti itore ma-steps kuti ipedze the military participation in partisan politics since they should discipline or persecute military officers anoviolate mutemo ma-regulations iwawa muri Zimbabwe. So according to the Human Rights Watch, the election period in Zimbabwe, especially in 1985, 1990, 2000, 2002, 2005 and 2008, are characterized by widespread political violence committed by ZANU-PF and its allies, pamwechete nema-government security agencies anosanganisira the army. Problems iyaya ndofunga akaonekwa during the 2008 election apo army payakabuda ichiruva vanhu pakauraya vanhu vaisvika kuma-200 pakatotywa vanhu vaisvika kuma-5,000 nevamwe vaisvika kuma-36,000 vakaabductwa. Zvakare muna 2017 military coup yakabvisa president Robert Mugabe pachigaro. Pakaonekwa zvakare military ichiparticipate mupolitics muri Zimbabwe. The military leadership pamwechete nema-sectors mamwe army kubva pacoup they have been visible mu political environment muri Zimbabwe. Vangari vakabuda vachitaura kuti security force commanders need to speak and act in a manner that reflects a strictly neutral political position in accordance with Zimbabwe's constitution and international law. Authorities should take appropriate disciplinary action against officers in the security forces, regardless of rank, who violate laws and regulations prohibiting partisan conduct. Navangari muri Zimbabwe, the director of the Human Rights Watch muri Zimbabwe, the military haifani kupindira munyaya dzepolitics. Ndofunga vakachema zvakare KuSADC vachitaura ivo vachiti the SADC should discuss issue yekupindira kuita military munyaya dzepolitics. The news kusaka nyaya iyi vachitaura ivo vachiti the Southern African Development Community leaders who will meet in Harare in August should pressure the Zimbabwean government to restrain the military from its brazen interference in the country's politics and elections. an international human rights organization says. Human Rights Watch Africa Advocacy Director Alan Ngari said, on June 29, 2024, the Zimbabwe National Army Commander, Lieutenant General YaSanyatwe, was quoted as saying that people would be marched to polling stations whether you like it or not, and that the ruling party ZANU-PF would rule forever. Since the August 2023 general election, in which ZANU-PF failed to win an outright majority in parliament, the country has witnessed several by-elections in constituencies where opposition leaders of parliament were dismissed in a bizarre ploy. The dismissal was seen as an attempt to tilt the balance of power in ZANU-PF's favor. The Zimbabwe military commander's open endorsement of the ruling party not only threatens the fairness of elections but opens the door for security force abuses against voters. The opposition, the civil society organization, Zimbabwe security forces need to comply with the country's laws and regulations that uphold the international human rights obligations to ensure that elections are free and fair. For decades, Zimbabwe's military and other state securities have openly interfered in nations' civilian, political, and electoral affairs in violation of the Constitution and citizens' civil and political rights. Zimbabwe's Constitution says no member of the security services in exercising their function may act in a partisan manner, further the interest of any political party, or cause or violate anyone's fundamental rights or freedoms. However, senior members of the security forces have routinely ignored these provisions with impunity. The government should take urgent steps to end the military's participation in partisan politics, including by disciplining or persecuting military officers who violate laws and regulations that prohibit the security forces from directly supporting any political party, Ngari said. Zimbabwe has a history of elections that fall far short of international and regional standards, characterized by the involvement of the military in deeply flawed electoral processes. The government has not remedied some of the flaws of the August 2023 elections that SADC observers documented. Election periods in Zimbabwe, especially 1985, 1990, 2000, 2002, 2005, and 2008, were characterized by widespread violence committed mainly by ZANU-PF, its allies, and government security agencies, including sections of the army, Ngari added. These problems were particularly evident during the 2008 elections, when the army was credibly implicated in numerous systematic abuses that led to the killing of up to 200 people, the beating and torture of 5,000 more, and the displacement of 36,000. The 2017 coup against President Robert Mugabe further entrenched the military in its partisanship with the ruling party and interference in civilian affairs. The military leadership and some sections of the army have since the coup taken highly visible steps that adversely affected the political environment. Lieutenant General YaSanyatwe's recent statement that militate against the holding of free, fair and credible elections raised the agency to carry out reforms to ensure that state security forces do not threaten future democratic elections and the electoral affairs of the country. Zvakabuda zvitaurwa neThe Newsworks muZimbabwe. Tisikaziye kuti muona sei nyaya iyi, tiudziwo zvamuri kufunga pamusoro penyaya iyi mucomment section.